What's up you guys, Jason here again and welcome to this video. Yes, you guessed it, it's a new week and it's time for another camping adventure. I did mention in my previous video that this week we'd be doing something completely different. Unfortunately, those plans didn't quite work out, but I am still heading out to make my video nonetheless. I did, however, drop a post on Facebook inviting a subscriber to do an overnighter with me, and I'm actually heading out to collect him right now. Like me, he's very much into the outdoors and also a camping enthusiast, but I'll introduce him a little bit later. This is also a great opportunity for him to see behind the scenes how I make my videos. That said, we are heading through to a spot called 22 Waterfalls. It's up the west coast, maybe 2 hours from Cape Town, just outside the town of Porterville. I've had a look at the website. It looks like an awesome place. I just hope that we have enough time to explore at least some of what they have on offer, but I will leave a link in the description down below. Weather-wise, it's looking great. It's a nice warm day, low 30s. Tonight we have a minimum of +9 Celsius, light breeze, no rain, so perfect conditions. In terms of my sleep system, tonight I'm going to be using a bivy, and I'm also going to be experimenting with a different tarp configuration. But that said, it's now time to head out, collect Wayne, get there safely, and get this camp underway. I'll catch up with you later.
Hi, Wayne. Throwback on phone line now. Ready to give the message job. So I'll get back to you. Thanks. Ciao. After the tone.
Alright, let's try again. Right guys, back with you. Like I said in the intro, this time I have a fellow subscriber going with me on this overnighter. So let me introduce you to Wayne. And like I said before, also very much into the outdoors and an avid camping enthusiast. So Wayne, welcome. And it's always nice to have a fresh face. So let's have some fun. Let's get this camp underway. Catch you later. Alright, so we've just arrived at 22 Waterfalls. No issues with the drive here at all. In fact, the roads were relatively quiet, and we met Joey at reception, lovely lady, and we are currently at our site. It is island number 3, which is just off behind the camera. Nice and stuck away between the trees. Beautiful looking sights, very peaceful. There's a river flowing through, and a little bit later I'll take you for a walk around and show you what the sights look like. Just up behind me, nice dramatic backdrop of the mountains, and apparently they do have lots of baboons that come through as well. But I think at this point the plan now is just to sort of settle in, set up camp, and then take a walk and have a look to see what this place has to offer. Alright, so we've just arrived at camp. Again, this is island number 3. Nice and secluded, very sheltered between the trees. We've got a lovely little stream running by, coming straight down from the mountains. Very nice little setup this. Very cozy, no bugs at all. Awesome little braai pit down there at the bottom. Gorgeous. Just taking a look at what's up at the ablution, and again outside we have a little wash up area. These are the ablutions stuck away between the guava trees. Some very rustic looking chalets. I don't know what they look like inside, but I would imagine they could be quite cozy. Although they are made from tin, nice in winter, but I would imagine quite warm in summer. But it's something different. So that's the gorge that goes up into the mountains with the 22 waterfalls. And I believe it is signposted, it is well marked. So these are really awesome looking campsites, nice and nestled between the trees, plenty of shade, and most of them have power points as well. Alright, so that's the basic setup. Pretty straightforward. It's almost like a closed A-frame. Plan now is to obviously get the ground sheet down, erect the bivy, blow up the mat, and then set up bed. But pretty spacious inside, and this is home for tonight. Right, so the next thing that we have to do is just erect the bivy, and this is a pretty straightforward process. This is the little fly, but I never use that. Some pegs, little pole just for the foot end, and what's nice about this setup is it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so just here in the center we have a little rope that we're going to pull just to extend the poles. And we'll just make sure that everything is nice and even, because we don't want to shatter any of these poles. Make sure that nothing's hooking, and once everything is fine, boom, clips into place just like that.
A few moments later.
Alright, so camp is finally set up. Wayne's actually sitting there laughing at me. After much effort, we eventually settled on this little setup, but I think it's pretty comfortable. Tonight I'm doing the Traverse sleeping bag. I think it's going to be too warm, but at least I don't have to worry about, you know, a down sleeping bag getting wet like in the last video. Two pieces of gear that I want to show you. Firstly, this little gizmo that I picked up from Camp and Climb, and all that this is a little waterproof container to hold matches. Pretty cool, very snazzy. I love the color, it's bright orange, so of course we can't lose it. And the other thing I picked up was this little trekking pole. What's nice about this, it's actually got 2 points for extension, so it's a longer pole than the usual standard pole. And what's nice about this, it's quite compatible with my tarp setup like you saw earlier. This one in particular, this is the INCA model, and this is from First Ascent. If you're interested to learn more, I'll leave some details in the description down below. But that is camp setup, and I think plan now is to have a cup of coffee, and then soon we can light the fire. Alright, let's take a look at Wayne's setup. That's a very interesting looking tent.
Yeah, this is an old British tent. It's made by Wild Country.
Uh-huh.
And a venerable 32 years old today.
Did you say 32 years old today?
I have the original receipt. I bought it in 1988.
I don't know if you heard that. Bought in 1988. Wayne still has the original receipt. Can you believe it? But that tent actually looks awesome, dude. It still looks brand new, eh?
Brilliant. The only thing that's a problem nowadays is the fly sheet.
The fly.
The fabric and the seams are shot. It will keep off a heavy dew, but it certainly won't withstand the sweeping thunderstorms that we're still seeing over the years.
She looks awesome.
Deluging rain in the Lake District. Get a shot with a fly on, it's got it on.
The Wild Country Voyager. You said bought in 1988.
Correct.
It's a pretty nice looking tent, eh?
Yeah, no, this is done really very, very well over the years.
It's in good condition.
You put up in all sorts of
And
places.
this is a two-man tent, right?
It's officially two-man, but
Okay.
if you come around and look inside, it's a comfortable one-man with plenty of space for your gear. But you can squeeze two in and then your gear under the vestibule.
Very nice looking tent.
The tent basically is good, but the seams have seen better days. I have used some seam sealer on the outside, but it'll keep off a heavy dew, but don't bank on it holding off much rain.
But I have to say, I'm really impressed by how long this tent has lasted. It just goes to show, you know, quality.
Quality and, yeah, taking care of stuff, drying things out. Having an underneath ground sheet helps protect the main base ground sheet.
Absolutely.
That is key. But yeah, all enveloped in fly with a really nice big vestibule up the front. You can stack a lot of gear. You can cook here as well.
My Helio has got the same sort of front vestibule setup, very spacious.
Ideal.
But I love the design. Wild Country. Alright, if you have been watching some of my previous videos, you will know that I've been having some serious audio issues with my Hero 7 Black. Yesterday I went online and I found a very helpful tutorial to help me problem solve some of my audio issues. In terms of the setup that I'm using, I do have the Rode Video Micro, also the official GoPro audio adapter, and it's all held together in a casing that I bought off of Amazon. In terms of the actual settings, there were two main issues that I discovered, and both of those are accessible under Pro Tunes. Bottom left, raw audio I had set to high, that should be either on low or off, and mics I had set to wind, it should have been on stereo. So hopefully that corrects the problem. Of course I won't know at this stage, I'll only know once I get home and I start editing this video, but let's hope for the best and let's see what happens. Alright, so for those of you who want to know more about my video setup, this is the Hero 7 Black, so I do have Pro Tunes enabled. I'm currently filming in 2.7K resolution at 30 frames per second. Field of view is at linear. Stabilization is on auto. Shutter is on auto. EV compensation is on 0. White balance auto. ISO minimum 100. ISO max 800. Sharpness medium. Color flat. Raw audio off, mics stereo, and that is pretty much it. The beauty about filming in 2.7, if you zoom in, you are not losing any image information. Still very crisp and clear. And just as a pro tip, even if you are recording in 1080p in post with Final Cut Pro, you can export your video as 4K resolution. So this is another piece of gear that I have. This is a utility tool from a company called Oztrail. It's basically a glass breaker. It's also a powerful torch and then a taser as well. The only reason why I have this is because of the campsites that I frequent are mostly up in the mountainous areas, and there's always that potential of baboons coming into camp. So it's more as a deterrent really than anything else. Alright, so conditions are absolutely perfect, so we're going to be doing a fire tonight. Let's take a closer look at what's for dinner. Very simple, I'm just going to do some chicken legs on the grill and then some mixed veggies in foil with a little bit of salted butter and of course my garlic flakes, salt and pepper. Strangely, this blitz isn't taking.
It's an old piece that's right out of it.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah, one of those cheap brands. That's obviously why. It feels wet.
No, it's going now. I get to eat. Vary your fire starting techniques. I see you have the pyramid style, you do your show, you have your square blocking approach. or anything goes.
This is just, I'm quite full now, I want this fire to go. Don't care how it goes, it doesn't have to look pretty as long as it burns.
Yeah, no, it looks like it. Air of desperation.
As long as she just burns now, I'm happy. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's take a closer look at what Wayne is doing for supper tonight.
Right, well,
What's your plan?
the cool box makes a great seat, but inside we're going to keep it reasonably simple. We're basically going to do some seasoned rump steak
Nice.
with a little bit of sweet curry pasta salad, and that's probably washed down with a beer.
Rocking.
Here we go.
Just poked a hole in there.
That's ominous.
But you say those JoJo tanks are breeding ground for mozzies. The problem that we have, we live in a block of flats,
Right.
but it's only 2 floors. It's a ground floor and first floor. But we're on the top, and the gutter, it's so clogged up with leaves and litter. When it rains, it doesn't drain, it doesn't go down the drain.
So
It
you
actually
get this
sits in the
residual
gutter.
water sitting in the gutter.
Yeah, so you've got all that stagnant water that sits, that rotting water with the leaves and gunk, and mosquitoes breeding there. And because we're right next to the gutter, we obviously leave the balcony open for the cat.
Right.
And those mozzies, they come in, yes, and often we're lying watching TV in the lounge and the ceiling is just covered in mosquitoes.
Yeah, no, it's a problem. Sort of urban living, but you've got sort of rural problems sometimes, and it's all to do with gutters and JoJo tanks and wet areas that people have never sort of drained properly and things like that. It all creates this breeding zone. But at least we don't have malaria to worry about down there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, up north, yeah, mosquitoes bring all sorts of other areas. you're wondering what the sticks are for, they're for turning my potato.
Holds it nice and hot.
This is a fantastic fire, this is. Well, everything's coming together very nicely here. Our rump steak is looking superb. Marinade delicious. Way more than I actually need, but we'll see. It's going to be cold tomorrow morning. Might go down well. Sprinkle of our secret herbs and spices for the potatoes. So
That, my friend, is looking very nice.
this is looking exceptionally tasty.
No peasant camping for you tonight. Chicken is coming on really nice. I'm starting to smell the garlic and the veggies. Supper is nearly done. Yum. Moment of truth. Let's see how this came out. And that, my friend, is how you do veggies on the fire.
That is absolutely fantastic. I'm impressed. You can't do better in the oven at home.
Look at that. And then, of course, we've got our chickens as well. Nice. Alright, there we go. I've got some butternut, what looks like sweet potato, some broccoli, some nice chunks of garlic, some cauliflower, and in here I've got some salted butter, and then of course salt, pepper, and those chili flakes. Very toasty. Yum. We usually always blind ourselves when we do this. And then hopefully I don't set myself on fire with this candle. Alright, so there we go. Dinner is done. Veggies were super awesome, very soft and tasty. Chicken came out quite well, very crispy. I think Wayne's steak was also super tender. Anyway, we do have a few bugs. That's why we've just relit the fire, and it seems to be helping quite a lot. A little bit of a breeze coming through, but other than that, a perfect evening. It's been a great first day. Wayne's going to finish up his beer. I'm going to have a quick cup of coffee, and then I think we're going to call it tonight. So on that note, we'll say goodnight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Good morning, guys. Not a bad night's sleep. We had a few visitors in camp last night, some wild cats. We saw them up in the trees, but other than that, very laid back, very peaceful. I see Wayne is up, he's scuffling about as well, And plan now is to obviously grab a cup of coffee, have breakfast. We're going to break camp, and then before we leave, we're going to head up into the mountains and have a look at one or two of the waterfalls. Wayne's busy there at his tent. I think he's also busy hanging things up to dry. Again, we have a date with Jacobs. I'm gonna do 2. Have you tried these? Oh, you got the same. I'll do 2 in one pot. It's just easier. Okay, you just need to bring your mug. Good man, good man. So in terms of bivvies, you either like it or you don't. The advantage of a bivvy is its portability, it's compact, it's flexible, you can pretty much pitch it anywhere. The drawback is the fact that there will be condensation on the inside by the footbox. It's unavoidable, and it's going to make your sleeping bag wet. So in this case, I knew I wanted to use a bivvy, therefore I didn't bring the down sleeping bag. I brought the synthetic one because I know the synthetic bag is going to dry out a lot quicker. So at the moment now, I've got the bag up hanging to dry, and then eventually after breakfast I can pack it away. But in case you're wondering, the bivvy that I'm using, this is the Swift Pitch bivvy tent from Oztrail. You can actually have a look on Camp and Climb's online catalog on their website. They have them there. Not expensive, and I really like it. It's super convenient and it fits easily into the backpack as well.
At home, when I tried it out, the idea that you have is 2 is better. It's a filling bowl.
Yeah.
And 1 is a little bit on the side.
I can't do 1 packet.
In my mug, I think that's, and then my energy bar will...
The man's organized. So yes, you guessed it. Oats for breakfast. I'm doing strawberry flavor. What flavor is yours? Apple and cinnamon. And then that a Milo bar.
Energy breakfast bar.
So that is for breakfast this morning. Yay.
Yeah, I know.
I always feel my ear popping up. Breakfast of champions. How's your apple cinnamon?
Number 1, really good.
It's a nice flavour, that. And there's little pieces of apple in there, dried apple.
Yeah, and it actually dehydrates very nicely, which is what I've found with my homebrew stuff.
Okay, so as you saw in the time lapse, camp is now packed up. and we're just going to do a short walk up into the mountains to go see if we can find a waterfall or two. Alright, so here we go. This is the first of the waterfalls. Maybe 2 minutes up the path. Dangerous hiking trail. This is the route that we have to do. Check it out. And I'm in flip-flops. A little bit sketchy coming up here, but it is a well-marked path. They've got railings. It's just a matter of take your time, watch your step. There's no rush. Enjoy the views and make the most of it, and I promise you will be fine. Alright, so here we go, waterfall number 2. As you can see, quite a lot of volume coming down. Nice little plunge pool, and as Wayne said, in summer this would be a great place to swim. Still plenty of waterfalls further up, but it's a bit of a higher scramble, a steeper scramble, so I'm not sure how far we're still going to go. And then suddenly, as you come out from the waterfalls, we have this beautiful opening between the trees, looking out across the valley, and all sorts of crop farming for miles and miles. Alright, so we're up on top of the hill now, completely open, looking down on the little dam and of course the camp area. Pretty spectacular, and this is a nice view of where we spent the night. In fact, we were just over here, down in the trees over here. And of course you can see our neighbors up there on the grassy side. And then just over here down to the left are the ablutions and chalets. But very cool spot, this, very cool. Alright, so there we go, camp is packed up. We did the little walk up to the waterfalls, really spectacular place this. Today is Heritage Day, so there's quite a few campers coming in now, obviously for the long weekend. And truth be told, this is the type of place that you want to spend more than one night. But it was still a great experience. It was nice to see what it was about, and I do highly recommend this spot. But as always, I will leave a link in the description, so if you want some more information, check it out. But also, Wayne, thank you very much for your company. It's always nice to have some company and some banter around the fire, and it's been a great, awesome experience. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely a great one, and look forward to another one sometime.
Absolutely, absolutely. We must do it again. But guys, as always, thank you for watching. Please support the channel by smashing that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you again in the next video. Cheers and bye.
Heard you want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.